Okay, now we're cooking. I just did the first half of this video and I wasn't even recording. Anyway, so, hello, how are you? How is your September? Hope it's going well, hope school's going good, hope work's going good. Yeah, sorry if I'm quiet. Sorry about my hair, I know it's greasy. I'm gonna wash it tomorrow, I just didn't feel like it today. So as you can see from the title, I am doing childhood stories. I'm only going to do 3 because I could not think of any childhood stories at all. So yeah, let's get started. So when I was younger, I wouldn't sleep at anyone's houses at all. Like I couldn't do sleepovers. I would always end up calling my parents at 2 or 3 in the morning and having them come get me because I couldn't stay there. Because I would just cry. And that went with pretty much for anyone. Like, I wouldn't go anywhere without my sister. Like, I wouldn't spend the night at my grandparents' houses or my aunt and uncle's houses or anything without my sister. And so my mom's parents, yeah, sorry. So one year I decided to stay at my mom's parents' house for like a week or like a weekend or something. I don't really remember. So, like, we went to Red Lobster, we went to the movies, we did a bunch of fun stuff while I was here. And I don't really remember exactly everything we did because it was a couple years ago. Like, I don't even remember how old I was, but I remember what I'm about to tell you. And so we went to the movies, and I don't remember the exact, like, title of the original one, but it's like Christmas Past, Christmas Present, and Christmas Future. But I think this one was called Scrooge. It was like animated, and it had Jim Carrey voicing Scrooge, and it was, you could see it in 3D. So we saw it in 3D. And in the beginning, you're like weaving through buildings in London, and it being 3D, it's like lifelike, and it feels like you're gonna hit them. So me and my grandmother were like bobbing and weaving and jumping, like, so we wouldn't hit these buildings, but we wouldn't hit the buildings because they were fake, and my grandpa got a kick out of that, and he was laughing at us. And then I think at some point I spilled my popcorn, and my grandpa got me more. But yeah, that's that story. My next one is how I met my brother-in-law. I was like 13 or 14 when I met him. And my sister obviously still lived at home because she lived at home right up until she got married to him. So she moved out at 23. So if I was like 13 or 14, let's see, 14, 15, 16, she was like 20 or 21. And if you don't know, my parents work at a restaurant, and there are these things called food shows where people who own restaurants or managers of restaurants go to, and they like try different foods that maybe they want to have at their restaurant, and like the cutlery and the plates and the bowls and like just anything you could think of to have to do with a restaurant, that it's there, like all the cleaning stuff and all that stuff. And it's like in this room, and it's like tables, and then like on the outside, and then there's tables on the inside. I used to get to go to them when I was younger, and then they moved it to a casino, and so I had to stop going. And I can go now, but I just have too much life to deal with. I can't miss out on life. But anyway, and so they were gone to that for I think they had left that day, and then they were coming back the next day. So they only really go for like an overnighter. So my sister was in charge of getting me to school. And so that night, her then friend and her kids came over, and her then husband were supposed to meet us at our house. But he never came. I guess he got delayed at work or something. And her friend that's a boy, came with them because he's best friends with her then husband. And I guess my sister had met him at this like singles group at church or whatever. I don't know. At the church she was going to at the time. And so she kind of liked him, but she wasn't sure, and she was like talking to him, so this was her way of introducing him to me. And so they brought us pizza, and we had pizza, and I had gotten a weird vibe from him all night. and I was just so happy when he left, and I wasn't sure what to think about him. And then, not knowing my sister was into him, she was like, "So Megan, what do you think about him?" I was like, "It was alright, I guess, I don't know." And then when I was growing up and my parents were away, I always say I'm a mama's girl and a little bit of a daddy's girl. I am a daddy's girl. I depended on my parents so much when I was younger. Like, I was very clingy to them. So yeah, I'm a mama's girl and I'm a daddy's girl. I'm just all the girls. And so to have them with me, since they weren't physically there, I would sleep in their bed. And so that is what I was doing that night. And I had woken up really early in the morning at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I had to get up at 6 to get ready for school. And so I went to the bath, because I woke up because I heard a voice, and I was like, oh, maybe it's my sister. And then I realized it was a man's voice. I was like, is my dad back? Like, are my parents back? Are they just in the living room? Like, what's going on? So I got out of my parents' bed and I walked in. Like, there's a hallway, and then there's this little doorway that it has a dresser in front of it, but it used to be like a doorway that you could get into. And so I just like peeked my head, and there he was, my brother-in-law, talking to my sister, and I was just like, oh my god, my dad, oh my god. And so I snuck back to bed, and I was laying in my parents' bed, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna kill me. He is going to kill me. Yep, that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna die tonight, because I didn't really know him, and I thought he was gonna kill me. And so I was like, no, Megan, he's fine. Just go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. It's okay. And then I'd look up the clock, and I'd be like, I have this many hours until I have to get up. I have this many hours. Eventually, I think I did fall asleep. But yeah, was my first interaction with my brother-in-law. I thought he was going to kill me for like the first 6 months of knowing him. I'm still not sure about it. Jokes, guys, jokes. But yeah, that was my second childhood memory. And then my third one is, it isn't a specific time. Like, it didn't take place in a specific time. It took place over a course of time, I guess. When me and my best friend, who is also named Megan, would get bored. Like, where we grew up was very small. It's considered a village. Like, there was 48 people in my graduating class. Very small. And so there wasn't really much to do in the town. Like, we had one stoplight, we had one grocery store, we had 2 gas stations, pizza place, 2 restaurants on a good day. There was one restaurant in downtown that kept going out of business. I think we had like 2 bars, and we don't have that much. And so for fun, we would walk around town, because there's like literally, you cannot get lost in this town at all, or this village. And so we would go to this place called the Cement Factory, or the Ruins, and just explore there. And basically it was a cement factory at one point in its life, but it crumbled down or whatever, like it got ruined. So yeah, or we would go to the nature center and we would explore that, or we would walk up to the cemetery, because we do have a cemetery. Excuse me. It's right by the old elementary school. And I say old elementary school because it's no longer an elementary school, because we combined our middle school and our elementary school together. So the elementary school just went into the middle school, and so now that houses preschool to, I think, 5th grade, and then 6th through 12th grade is in the high school. Anyway, and we would just go up to the cemetery, and we'd just walk around the cemetery. We'd read headstones. We'd just talk about life. You know how I think some cemeteries, I don't think all of them, but some cemeteries have that, like, place where you can go in, and I don't really know, I think it's like plaques or something. We would sit on top of that, and we would just talk, and we were weird, and there wasn't really much to do in that town. And yeah, we would just walk around town. We would go to the old elementary, and there's a playground in front, and then there's a playground in back. The playground in front was for the littler kids, so like preschool and kindergarten and young fives, and then the playground in back was for 1st through 4th grade. And we would plan those, and yeah, it was just, yeah, those were my 3 stories. It was kind of a chill week. Next week I think should be a little more exciting. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, I'm sorry if my stories were boring. Let me know if you want a part 2 to this. Like this video if you feel so inclined. Subscribe so you can see more of my face. I post new videos every single Friday at 4 p.m. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see your beautiful faces next week. Bye!